Good morning, everybody. It is December 13th, Tuesday, here in Austin, Texas. This is episode 24 of the Note Closer Show. We call this episode The Hangover. Why The Hangover? Was I out drinking last night? No. Was I drinking here in the office last night? No. You could have used probably a drink, and we got enough wine in here from stuff still being delivered from the Napa Valley Mastermind from 6 months ago. But today's title is called The Hangover for a couple of reasons. One, last night we had our Note Mastermind draft. We had not 80 people on there. We had 80 people coming up to the Orlando Mastermind, but we ended up having like close to 70 people on there last night. Not everybody bid. Some people were busy closing other deals, which is completely fine. Some people were sick. Totally can respect that. Some people caught the Disney bug, which they got sick. So they've been out of commission, couldn't do any due diligence, so they didn't bid, which is completely fine. What is also scary, though, is people who made some bids or who called and were scared to make offers. It's kind of like they go out, they get excited about coming to an event, and then the morning after, it's not the morning after pill, it's they get all excited, drunk on excitement, but the next day, buyer's remorse or oh shit, or the hangover kicks in, as I say. So today's topic is more about how to avoid the hangover by really following through if you're making an offer on things. Just because you make an offer to an asset manager or a hedge fund or through a note draft or a note auction doesn't mean your due diligence is over. Yes, the offer is out to the hedge fund on your, or the bank, and they're going to identify or respond back if it makes sense. Does your due diligence stop there? Well, before we talk about if it stops, let's talk about what you should have been doing prior to the event. The first thing, there's three major things you're going to check to protect your investments. You're going to check value, taxes, and then title. Well, you're not going to order a title report and pay money for that until you actually have an accepted offer. So let's not worry about that right now. Property value. That's one thing you can control. Now, how do you do that? No, you don't jump on Zillow, eAppraisal, Trulia. Well, don't get me wrong, those aren't bad to get a rough estimate, especially when you look at solds on Zillow. Make sure they're like my solds. You still always have to have a realtor try to buy the property. Now, an AVM, automated valuation model like Zillow, Trulia, is a good guide. All right, let's try this Note Closer Show, the Hangover Part 2 here. As we were talking before the connection kicked out here, we talked about, hey, you need to check value, taxes, and then, of course, title. Well, you're not going to order a title report until your offer is accepted. You're not going to order a BPO until your offer is accepted, but that doesn't mean you don't do due diligence on the value of the asset. That means you still get realtors to drive by the asset. Because in the day, the 3 days, the 5 days, the 7 days it takes for the hedge fund to get back, you can do a lot of due diligence on value. You can get realtors to drive by the property and tell you if it's a decent property, if it's ugly, if it's occupied, if it's trashed out, if there's no property there anymore. You can also identify and do a little due diligence on the borrowers, what's one of the favorite things that you guys like to do in here? I have the minions in here.
Facebook stalking.
They like to Facebook stalk the borrowers to see if they've got a Facebook profile, if they've got a LinkedIn profile, where they work at, if they list their job. All that good stuff. You can tell a lot about an asset, especially the borrowers, if you've got the borrower's information on the spreadsheet. Now, another thing that's important besides checking value, that's the most critical aspect, checking condition. That's going to protect your investment the most. The second thing is taxes. Now, this does not mean just going by what's in the spreadsheet and accepting that as fact. If you do that, then it's your effing fault if they owe a lot more and you don't find out to the last minute, oh my God, they actually owe $2,000, not $200. That $1,800 goof is on you. All right? Not the hedge fund, not the seller. It's your responsibility to check taxes. Now, how do you do that? Well, you go to Netra Online, N-E-T-R online.com, and that'll give you the whole massive nationwide list so you can connect with all the tax appraisal districts, all that good stuff, the county clerks there for every county in the country. Now, the best thing for you to do to check taxes, pick up the freaking phone and call the county office. Pick up the freaking phone and find out how much is exactly owed, if there's a tax sale coming, If there is a tax certificate sale coming, there's a whole variety of different things that you can talk. Now, if it did go to tax sale, one big red flag is if you check the county tax association website, tax appraiser's website, and the name of the owner of the property is different from the person in your spreadsheet. That should be a big red flag. That's one thing you should check. Your taxes like this, you should check this before you submit an offer. Because if it went to tax sale, most of the time the borrower's name is going to be completely different. Okay? And that would eliminate you from wasting a bid or wasting a hedge fund manager's time. Don't get me wrong, yes, the hedge fund manager should hopefully have an idea of what's gone to tax sale or not, but you got to realize these guys are getting in 400 to 1,000 assets every month. They don't have time to do heavy due diligence on you. That's where it comes for you guys, being able to cherry pick to identify assets this way. That's where you get your value in. So, checking value is important. Double checking taxes if you haven't already done that. It's things you should be doing consistently up to the point where the hedge fund says your offer is accepted. Now, what do you do once the offer is accepted? Besides shitting yourself, like some people would, and going, yay, oh shit, what do I do now? I should have put parental guidance on the bottom of the image here sometimes. Then you really do. If you don't have a realtor, you better get on the phone to a realtor. Pay somebody $50 to do a drive-by and take photos. Go to wegolook.com and post on there for them to go do a drive-by, say, for $100. You really need to be talking to people about what the condition of the property is. You call the power companies, call the utilities departments. That's some things maybe you could do prior to, depending on how many assets you're going to bid on. But those are all due diligence factors that are required. And of course, once they do accept your offer and you're happy with it, then you need to be calling Pro Title USA. Alex Godofsky over at Pro Title USA, they're a preferred title company, be pulling O&E reports. You don't need a full title report. You just need an ownership and encumbrances report, which is basically it's a high end evidence because you don't need title going back to when the property was created. You just need a title report taken back to when that original mortgage was created. It's a whole lot cheaper. It's maybe $100 for you or less, depending on how many you order in a month. But it's a whole lot cheaper than a couple $100 for a title policy. So those are the things that you need to be doing. You can't sit around and just twiddle your thumbs. You can't freak out. Oh my God, no realtors are going to call me. Well, they're not going to call you. This is why it's important to jump on Zillow, jump on ActiveRain.com. Worst case, go to the local RIA club in the area, call the president of the local RIA club chapter and find out a good realtor or rehabber who could drive by the property for you and take some photos. That's one of the great resources. You could jump on meetup.com as well and find investors in there that might be willing to do a drive-by for you. Go to reiclub.com. One of the great things that we've got Greg and Ryan in the office doing yesterday and today, they're literally pulling lists of every real estate investment club in the country on the bigger ones that are out there. They're not going to meetup.com because that would take forever to pull all those investment clubs, but they're pulling some of the bigger ones and putting a directory together of investors and investment clubs in different areas across the country. So that's something that we can use. Drop an email out to, hey, we've got assets in your areas. You got anybody that might be interested, and go from there as well. Any questions or comments on? All right, so with the third episode here, we decided to move it over to the office here. For some reason, my Wi-Fi is kicking everything off in my office this morning, or my live stream here. But just because you make offers, okay, and you go through workshops, doesn't mean you're an investor. Now, if you span around here, we're in the gym here at our office complex. Nice gym, right? Really nice. They completely upgraded this over the last couple of weeks. We got some nice ellipticals. We have free weights here. You know, you can get your pump on. You know, yeah, lifting heavy, dude, man. Yeah. All right. I go to my trainer in an hour. Anyway. Unfortunately, a lot of people that go to workshops, that attend different things, you guys have tools to use, and you never use them. And that's what I often feel like a lot of people are. They like to go buy the machine, and then it becomes a very expensive clothes hanger, okay? In note investing, when you're making offers, and you're going to do deals, you submit offers on stuff, you can't stop doing the due diligence. You can't have the hangover and not work the next day. Okay? You still got to check, we talked before, check taxes, check values, get realtors to drive by things, order your title reports. You can't wait till the last minute to do that. If you're even close in the ballpark, all right, make sure that you're doing your due diligence. All right, make sure you're talking to your vendors. Make sure you get your servicing stuff ready to roll. We had our note draft last night, and we had 130 plus bids come in. So I got bids going out last night and this morning to the hedge funds to see what's going to be available. We'll probably have responses back before Friday with a whole goal. They'll try to want us to close the last week of the year in 2 weeks. And with it being the last week of the year, the last 2 weeks of the year, can we agree that people might be a little lazy? People may not want to do all the work that they're supposed to be doing? Yeah, we can agree to that. I can understand that. People may have the last week off. People have kids at home for the last 2 weeks. So what's that mean to you? It means you gotta suck down the Alka-Seltzer, go get a hair of the dog, Bloody Mary, tomato juice. Tomato juice is my personal best hangover cure. But anyway, get out there and start doing your due diligence and keep doing your due diligence and follow through with your vendors to find out exactly what your asset is worth, what the borrower's doing, what kind of shenanigans they might be playing if you Facebook stalk them successfully. Maybe we need to do a webinar on successful Facebook stalking. That would be kind of fun. I don't know, maybe not. Might not be a good thing. Anyway, so any questions, comments? Apologize for the 3 errors here this morning here with the signal, but it kind of turned out well. I guess we put it out there, quantum physics, hangover part 1, 2, and 3, and then of course we have them all in the same hour. Anybody any comments on stuff?
Stephanie says, make hay while others sleep.
Yes, make hay while you sleep till noon, exactly. Because some people, when they become entrepreneurs or they quit the job, they sleep in later. They sleep in till 10, 11, noon, get up, work for 3 to 4 hours, and then go have the liquid lunch or go do other things instead of getting work done. And they wonder, well, everybody stops working at 5, 6 because they've been there since 8 or 9. So treat your deals, treat your real estate business as a business, not as a hobby. And you'll be a lot happier too as well. You'll get a whole lot more done in the process.
Clive asks, is there a company that does encumbrance reports?
O&E reports. Pro Title USA will be the company you'd want to hire to do an ownership and encumbrance report. That's protitleiusa.com. Our buddy Alex Godofsky, I think Jennifer is typing the website in the comments right now for you to have. Alex, Pro Title USA is the company that's been doing most of the big FHA trades, pulling ownership and encumbrance reports or title updates for all those assets. So they're doing something around 20 to 30,000 O&E reports a month. Any other questions? Guys, what do you guys breaking down, reviewing assets? What's been the biggest thing you guys have learned over the last few months? Is that a picture is worth a
house there?
Make sure there's a house there. That's a good point.
Sure.
That's a good point, Ryan.
Don't go by the pictures that are.
Don't go by the pictures that are online.
Yeah,
Good point, Greg.
Usually a couple of years old at least.
Yeah, if they're a couple years old at least, it's probably not there. Or it's trashed out, it's vacant. Now, if it's occupied and somebody's living in it, that's a good thing for you. What does that tell you? Well, if it's occupied, if they're occupied living in it, that's fine. You're not going to have to do a lot of work. Your big goal with that is to get them to modify or reinstate. Okay? So if they should be paying $800 a month, but their mortgage payment is $400 a month, means A, they need to reinstate. It's cheaper for them to reinstate the property, reinstate the mortgage, and now you can have income coming in from the deal and have to start cash flowing versus waiting 6 months, 12 months, depending on what state it's located in, to foreclose, put out attorney fees, and then repair the property. Hey, I'd rather get 6 to 12 months of cash flow and then have it as a reperforming note. Someone make a comment?
Stephanie said to make sure all of the house is there.
Make sure all the houses there. That's a good point. Steph and I have driven by plenty of houses in our days, some of the roadshow tours, and they not the Blazing Saddles house. All right. Or you have a realtor take photos of just one side of the property, and when you buy the asset and drive by the next side, there's a big gaping hole where Superman ran through. Okay?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it. The biggest thing, guys, is when you're buying assets or making offers, is keep doing your due diligence. Keep moving forward, exactly, and follow up. Just because the hedge fund may not accept your offer and they counter back higher, if you follow up 30, 60, 90 days later with that hedge fund, oftentimes if that asset hasn't been sold, they'll reduce their price to get it moved down. So something to keep in mind for that, guys and gals out there. Thank you for joining us on the Note Closures Show, episode number 24. It's a 3-part series. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on the next episode.